All right, now call the April 21st, 2016 meeting of the Madison County Board of Adjustment to order. Marty, you want to call the roll, please?
Paul Millius.
Here.
Wayne Pinkowski.
Here.
George Dillon.
Here.
Howard Bowden.
Here.
Jimmy Rogers.
Here.
All right, the first item we have to deal with is the minutes from the last meeting, and they're lengthy, but pretty detailed. I read through them, I didn't see any discrepancies. If anybody didn't have any questions or comments, I'll open the floor for a motion for approval.
I move we accept the minutes.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers.
All right, call the roll, please.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Bowden.
Yes.
Mr. Dillon.
Yes.
Mr. Pinkowski.
Yes.
Mr. Millius.
Yes.
All right, gentlemen, we have two items on the agenda tonight. We have two conditional use permits, one for 600 Gabbard Town Road and one for 3780 Irvin Road. We're gonna do 600 Gabbard Town Road first. Who here is to speak on that? All right, if you wanna,
Ms. Hilton's here.
Ms. Hilton, if you wanna come to the podium.
Can you turn that one on? Let's see what there.
Okay.
State your name and address, please.
I'm Deborah Hilton. My address is 571 Gavertown Road, Berea.
All right, do you agree to give truthful and accurate information as it pertains to this case?
I do.
All right, continue. What do you propose to do? What do you wanna do?
Oh, I have a barn there that was originally a tobacco barn. And we have just transferred it into a wedding barn by birthday. I just rent it out. People just come to me, just rent for either their wedding or birthday, family reunion, just like a special event, somewhere for somebody together and have their events.
Okay, so has it already been used for a wedding venue before, or just you're proposing?
Not prior to me.
Okay,
no.
not prior to you, okay. So how often do you plan on or anticipate it being used as a wedding barn?
Most of the time I'd average, sometimes once a month, sometimes 2 to 3 times a month. It really varies. I think I've got 2 in May, and then I've got a family that's just rented it like for Mother's Day. But now when it comes like up to August, I'm thinking I've got 3 or 4 there.
Okay, that's good.
What would your hours of operation be?
I'll ask the people all the way out by 11 p.m. At night. When they, like if they're having a wedding on Saturday, then I allow them to come on Friday to do like set their tables and chairs up or decorate, whatever like that, and have their rehearsal Friday afternoon. And then they're normally there a couple hours prior to whatever time they're having their wedding. Most weddings is usually anywhere from 1 to 6. Most of them will run about 1 to 3, but occasionally I'll have one, they wanna have it at 6.
How long have you been doing this up to now?
I did last year, but the year before that's when I started working on it. But last year was my first weddings.
And as I understand from the write-up that you submitted, you don't serve food, you don't serve
No.
alcohol, beverages,
No.
or anything. Everybody, they bring it in, they haul it out.
Absolutely. Even down to their own ice.
What about restroom facilities?
I rent a porta potty from A&A. They come each week and pump it out, clean. If need be, then I will clean the floors or sanitize in between time, but he comes each week and pumps that out.
I got a question also. I was wondering, I know the city of Berea, their city limits is way out there. Are you inside the city limits or
No, sir.
outside?
The city limits run on the main road there, but once you turn onto Gavertown, that's county.
Okay.
She wouldn't be here.
She wouldn't be here if she didn't say
Well,
Berea.
They don't have the
Okay,
expanded
you know,
jurisdiction anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, well, but I was wondering about the hours. That's what I was thinking, if there's any.
Now, the only lighting you have is, as you stated here, is just a security light?
Outside,
Right.
there is an outside light on the outside of the barn, like I can turn, a matter of fact, too, that I can turn on and off with the switch. But now the security light, you know, was put up there by the electric company that comes on just like dusk, you know, from dusk to dawn.
Are the lights set up that they shine down, or,
Yes, sir.
so there's no light pollution
No,
to the area?
absolutely not.
How many people generally show up for an event like that?
On an average, 50, sometimes 75, but most of the time I average around 50 to 60 people.
If you'll notice on the map, she's surrounded by Hiltons, so it's all family members around.
Yeah. Well, we've had several of these come up. I mean, we've done.
Yeah, they're becoming more popular.
They're becoming more popular. We've looked at several of these and done several of these, so, I mean.
But, you know, Gabbard Town's a state highway, it's a pretty good road.
And I guess I'm looking at the site plan there, I mean, you've got plenty of parking and plenty of
Yes.
room for people to park and,
Yes,
You
that,
show them what we did.
No, I'm
Well,
not,
I actually
you go out there and look at it yourselves.
It's very, very level there in the front. Y'all been out to look at it, so,
good places to park, so.
yeah, and like I say, it's state highway connected to the state highway, back to Berea, so.
right.
What about noise now? Do they bring bands in to play at the reception?
I've
or-
had two, I think, really one, what you would call a band. Another one I had was just 4 or 5, like, from the church choir that brought their music in and
Mhm.
actually played right there. But regardless of whether they do or not, 11 is cutoff time.
Hmm.
Is it primarily just the weekends, or do you?
Oh, yes,
Okay,
yes.
wouldn't have anything during the week, you wouldn't think?
Last year, I had a lady from Gary County that would rent, I think it was on Monday or Tuesday nights for 1 hour and taught line dance classes, but she's not doing that anymore. But most of the time, 99% of the time, it's only Friday and Saturday.
Okay. And you don't have any signage out there or anything like that?
No, not next to the road, no. There's one sign up on the front of the barn, but nothing at the road.
I saw a sign on the road when I drove out there. It
Wait,
says
wh-
wedding barn. Just a small sign. That's how I found it.
There may have been a wooden sign someone put up, like just prior to the wedding for someone to
Okay,
turn
so
in, but it
that-
normally
Yeah,
doesn't stay.
Maybe that's what it
I
was.
remember one on the alarm, but I don't remember.
No, that's the only like,
It's the only one that you
Right.
don't own any out by the road.
no,
So it would be there just on the day of the event?
Right.
Or a day before,
Right.
maybe?
Does anybody in the audience wanna speak for or against Ms. Hilton's request for a wedding barn at Gabbert Town Road?
We haven't
You haven't had any complaints?
We haven't had any phone calls for, against, or otherwise. We haven't had any calls, and the sign's been up down there for, actually put it up a day early, so a little more than a week.
I actually had one neighbor, Leonard Bratcher, the Property Connect, and he offered to come with me, and he said, "Do you need me to come and help you? I'll do anything I can." I mean, I've had no one at any time complain about anything.
Okay, that's good.
Signs are all off, did you not see them all big?
Yeah.
Oh, you're all
Yeah,
signed
usually
out
we'll
there.
at least get a call, say, hey, what are they
What are they doing?
but we haven't even got that in this
Mhm.
case, so. Like I said, we notified all the surrounding property owners, but they're all your relatives, so.
Yeah, all but, one or two, I think,
Yeah,
Leonard
and
Bratcher.
and of course, it's been in the paper and all the
Yes.
requirements for that, so.
Okay, does anybody else have any further questions, comments from the board, audience? Do you have anything else you wanna add, Ms. Hilton?
Not at this time.
Like I said, we've seen several of these in the past, and they're becoming more and more popular. So if there's no further questions or comments, I'll open the floor for a motion.
I'd like to propose that we grant a conditional use permit for the property located at 600 Gabbertown Road, so that it may be used as a farm/wedding barn venue. I also propose that the following conditions be observed. Hours of operation will be from 9 a.m. until 11 p.m., with an additional 45 minutes allowed for cleanup. Any additional lighting to be added to the property will be shielded. No more than 200 people will be on site at any existing time, at any time.
All right, do I
Very
hear,
detailed motion.
that's good. Do I hear a second?
I'll second the motion.
Call roll, please.
All right, Jimmy Rogers,
Yes.
Howard Bowden,
Yes.
Wayne Pinkowski,
Yes?
Paul Melius,
Yes,
and George Dillon.
Yes. All right, Ms. Hilton, your request has been granted.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda,
9 to 11, 45 minutes allowed to clean up.
Hours of operation are from 9 a.m. until 11 p.m., with cleanup completed by 11:45 p.m. Any additional lighting will be at the facility will be shielded. And no more than 200 people will be on the site at that time.
all right, next item on the agenda is for a conditional use for a commercial construction debris business located at 3780 Irvin Road, for a Danny Hunt. Mr. Hunt, are you here? All right, you have an attorney representing you?
Yes, sir. Yes, you do. I would like to say something up front here.
Okay, go ahead.
About how every board member understands the process that they're proposing to go through. They're proposing to open up the business he just described, but it's just empty lot right now. So if you all approve the conditional use, then they will have to come to our office, bring us a site development plan, a detailed plan, just like we would for a subdivision or anything else. And we would have to go through our development review team, which is all the services, water, gas, electric, whoever's gonna service it will be there if they want. And then they'll give their recommendations, corrections or whatever. Then we'll bring it to the planning commission for a business session, and then we'll work session, and then a business session will be voted on. So I don't have a plan for you today, but this plan is gonna be, the process I just showed you, yeah.
So the board here is just approving the use of the
The
property for this type of business.
Any conditions. that you
Right.
want.
And
But you can take some comfort in knowing that you don't have to put requirements for lighting, you don't have to put requirements for parking lots and drainage.
Signage and all that. That's all being
signage and
handled by
lighting and
you
all
all
that.
got it.
Because all that'll be addressed out of the land use regulations, under the development plan.
Easy enough.
And Mr. Hunt knows that, he knows this is just the first step in the process moving forward.
All right. State your name, please, and the address you're representing.
My name is Nicholas Calmes.
What's your last name, please?
Calmes, Calmes.
Calmes. All right. And you're representing 3780 Irvin Road?
I am.
All right, Mr. Calmes, do you agree to give truthful and accurate information as it pertains to this case?
I do.
All right, continue.
Okay. I first want to give an overview of Mr. Hunt's business. He currently, at the moment, owns 3 commercial vehicles, and he owns 30 roll-off containers. These roll-off containers attached to the backs of the commercial vehicles, and he will either take the debris. He will take these roll-off containers to construction sites, or he will unload those, and they will take debris at these construction sites, load them into these roll-off containers, and then he will haul these to landfills. On the property itself, he is going to have a garage. It's going to be 50 by 40, and a storage facility. And basically, he just wants a place where he can maintain his vehicles. This garage will only serve the purpose of keeping his roll-off containers at the site, any unused roll-off containers at the site, and he will also want to use this garage to maintain vehicles, changing tires and things of that nature. The debris that he will haul is typically just your average debris from any construction site. We're talking about used timber, steel scraps, metal scrappings. And, you know, we also wanted to, discuss something else. He will haul these roll-off containers to these landfills during the day. However, we don't anticipate really any traffic at the site itself, other than his commercial vehicles, and the reason for that is we anticipate that most of his requests for roll-off containers will come via his phone. So they will call in and say, we need a roll-off container at this location. He will dump the debris on the day that he picks it up. However, I want to be forthcoming with the board here and say, should he have to pick one up 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, if he gets a call at 5 o'clock, they're just finishing up for the day and it's an hour away. He will take that to the landfill the next morning. I mean, we're going to use every reasonable means to ensure that the environment is protected, so to speak. Again, we were talking about a garage. It's going to be a 50 by 40 garage, a 30 by 30 storage facility. He'll store, any fluids necessary to maintain his vehicles, wiper fluid, tires, things of that nature, and he will store those in a responsible manner. And that's pretty much everything that we're gonna. That is what his business entails.
Okay.
And once again, we have had no phone calls.
No phone calls.
I brought this up on the map so you all can see where this property is located. Where it says Liso LLC, that's actually should be divided into 2 tracts there. For some reason on our map, it's not showing that. Am I saying that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're just half, you're asking for the half basically that's in the tree line there,
The
right?
trees, yes.
Yeah. So if you take a line and basically cut that tract in half, is his tract, and it's a long rectangle shape.
Yes, sir.
That fronts on Urban Road there. You can see there's commercial, everything, I don't have that turned on, let me get that layer turned on for you.
Do you need me to show you on the map? Do you understand? I don't care to do it. What are you talking? This property is divided, you see a line here. This is the part he's looking at.
Yeah.
That's
everything.
Quite right there,
not quite, what, too far over?
not over far enough.
Yeah, okay. But that's what I was trying to get at.
But it's
Somewhere-
split, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
but this part over here.
right.
Okay.
Now, he owns part on the other side.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
So the red is already zoned for general commercial. The tannish color is a community designation for zoning. So your communities are your Wacos, your Union Cities, your Kirksvilles. They want your commercial zone your commercial development to occur in those areas. And then the green that you see is actually is agriculture. So everything outside of that community designation would be theoretically your farmland and your single family homes and that kind of thing. So he does fall within the community. He's a community agriculture zone right now, but you do see some commercial zoning around it. And actually, one lot over there, you see the Waco Volunteer Fire Department, which is obviously not a residential area. So just to kind of give you a background a little bit about the surrounding zoning of the property.
And if I understand the regulations correctly, obviously the comprehensive plan does see some growth in these designated areas. If I understand the regulations correctly as well, there are certain buildings that have been granted in the past for a conditional use. We're talking about, volunteer fire departments, as you can see to the right of that, to the east, dog daycare facilities, and animal rescue facilities. If I understand the regulations correct, those are some of the buildings that have been approved in the past.
Approved in what area? Approved in what area?
As a conditional use. From what I understand from the regulations, it said and from what I also understand, agriculture is designated as a 7, and it was a C at the top and agriculture at the
No,
bottom.
no, those areas that you just talked about, or those businesses that you talked about, are they in this area
Oh, no,
here
sir.
or within the county?
I believe within the county. I mean, as you can see, I did name off a volunteer fire department. It is to the right of that, and to the east, and to the north of that is designated light industrial C4s.
But
Well, the
But the
C4 is
Waco-
actually general commercial.
Yes, general
the
commercial.
Waco Fire Department, as I understand it now, but I didn't understand it when I went out there, is not next to his property. It's next to, there's a piece of property between
There is.
Waco and his
And that's where Marty was showing you, there's a line that
Right.
goes down through there.
Yeah.
So there is an additional piece of property.
Right.
that's-
So the property's being subdivided and sold off to him, that's what we're doing, right?
Property's
Already
already
been subdivided.
It's already been
It's
subdivided.
already been
Okay.
subdivided, right.
It's just not on
It's
our-
just not shown on this map
Okay.
yet.
Several years ago, right? It was subdivided several years ago.
Back on the back side there.
We've always owned, the whole.
We'll have to wait, this,
I'm sorry.
well, because you'll have to be up here.
That's okay.
Because we've got bids for me. But you, you'll have your time.
He just asked.
I understand, that's right.
All right, so just to clarify, we're not using the lot for any type of dumping or filling or anything like that at all. So the debris that comes in stays on the truck, and then, you know, if you have to haul it to the landfill the next morning, it goes to the landfill the next morning.
Yes,
That's
sir.
it. Okay. And you've only got 3 trucks? 3 trucks?
As of now, as I understand it, he may expand to 4. I mean, that'll be a little bit down the road. I understand.
What would you see the hours of operation being? When do trucks start leaving the facility? When do they start coming back? How long in the evening do you work on trucks in the garage?
I suppose, I mean, it would vary with respect to the hours of operation. It would vary. He may get a phone call at 8 o'clock in the morning to come to a location to pick up or drop off. He may get one at 7 in the morning. He may get one at 6 in the evening. So we're talking about a 12-hour window there. Maybe slightly over a 12-hour window. With respect to maintaining the vehicles, I suppose it would depend on the level, the degree to which he has to work on those. If it's a simple, easy solution, he won't take him very long. If it's an engine that's gone out, I mean, you'll obviously have to take it to a professional to get it worked on. But it just varies at a reasonable length of time, just depending on the issue at hand.
Propose something, 7 to 7?
And what do you see as reasonable?
Typically, we would leave at 7:30, 8 o'clock, come back in at, landfill closes at 4:30, so we're back in by 5 or 6 usually. It's just normal. Now, if I had to work on a piece of equipment, I may work in the garage later. I have been known to work inside the garage later, but
Again,
if I had a garage, but I don't.
what would you say if you had the garage built would be a reasonable time?
Normally, I would quit at 5:30, 6 o'clock. But I mean, like, Nick said, if I had some major problem, I might have to work a little later.
And again, this trucks in and out would be 7:30 to,
It would-
5:30 or 6 typically. I mean, I'm not saying that's always gonna be the case, but 90% of the time that will be done, yes. It's not trucks are not gonna be coming in and out all hours of the day at night. That won't be the case.
When you're bringing this debris in, I'm trying to imagine what, you said you get a lot of different types of materials, metals and wood and things like that. Do you ever get anything that's of a hazardous nature at all, asbestos or anything like that?
I'm
that you're-
not allowed to carry that.
Okay.
No, sir. I have no hazardous waste, permits or anything.
the dumpsters that you haul with, do they have a cover on them? Or are they
will
open
have
on
a
top?
tarp on it when we're hauling.
Mr. Hunt, why don't you come to the podium, state your name and address here, and we can ask you questions.
Apologize.
State your name and address, please.
Danny Hunt, 325 Elliston Road, Richmond, Kentucky.
Mr. Hunt, do you agree to give truthful and accurate information as pertains to this case?
Absolutely.
All right, go ahead. Now we can talk to him.
If by some chance you have to haul the stuff back onto the property, do the containers have some type of cover to prevent, insulation or paper or whatnot blowing away, or are they open?
Well, they're open top, but for me to transport them down the road, they have to be tarped,
Okay.
because those little DOT people don't like it if you're not tarped, so they are tarped. They
So,
can
so
tarp.
if you had to park them overnight, the container would have a cover on it?
Yes, sir.
Say yes, please.
Yes, please. I said yes, sir.
Mr. Hunt, is this a 7-day operation or a 5-day operation, or?
Probably 90% of the time it will be a 5-day operation, because the landfills are closed on the weekend. So we can't go to the weekend. Now, I'm not gonna say that on a Saturday, we may not go and drop a box off or pick up a box, but as far as the normal day-to-day operations, it's usually a 5-day operation, yes, sir.
Do you have a way of governing the pickup times? For instance, can you tell a contractor that you have to pick it up by a certain time in order to get to the landfill, so that you eliminate having to bring that stuff back onto the property?
I don't think so, sir. If we're out and we're close to a box that we have to pick up, it's just not financially conducive for us to come all the way back home and then drive all the way back the next day. So if we're close, we're gonna pick the box up. So, I mean, but if you're concerned about the debris blowing around, that's not gonna happen. It doesn't happen, cause the tarp will be on it. And because we bring the box back and drop it off, I don't lose debris. I try not to. I'm sure some blows out down the road, but I try very hard not to do that. But I've never had a problem with that.
Well, I would assume the box just sits on the truck, and then the next morning you take it over and dump it, right?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
So it doesn't even come off the truck at your site?
Chances are it doesn't. Now, occasionally we may drop one off if it's got.
You just, you keep your empty ones there, pick them up, take them to job site, take them, dump them, drop the empty one back off?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's typically the way it happens. I need a place to store empty boxes that are not in use. If everything's working right, all my boxes are in use. I'm making money if they're sitting there, I'm not, but I like to have a few extra for unusual things.
Right.
Where are you running the business from now?
From my house, I've had a business there for like 20 years.
And where's?
325 Elliston Road.
About a mile from there.
We had a greenhouse business there, a mulch business there. I've been in business there for 20 years. You come out one time.
That's correct.
And I'm just outgrowing. I want to get it away from my house as well as my wife would like to get it away from it.
All right, we had any, or Marty, have we had any phone calls, neighbors?
Not at 11 o'clock this morning. Haven't heard anything.
Okay.
Been
Is
out of
there,
the office since then.
is there anybody in the audience that wishes to speak for or against Mr. Hunt's request?
I have one question.
All right, come to the podium and state your name and address, please.
Yeah, you'll probably end up having an answer.
I'm Lisa Cornett, 746 Forest Lane
All right,
in
Miss-
Richmond.
All right, Ms. Cornett, do you agree to give truthful and accurate information?
Yes.
All right, continue.
I assume the landfill is in Estill County?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just was curious. My son goes to Waco, and I drive past that, whatever that is, every day, and I was just hoping that wasn't another dump site for it, because there's enough junk there now.
You're
Okay.
talking by the Waco School on the loop.
Yes. So that's all.
Is this in close to the school, is it?
It's, well, the school's
Right
right across
across
the
the road.
street, and across the red, behind that, you know.
Okay.
through the woods.
Okay, well, that was my concern. It's not a dump site for anything. It's just more or less, not even really a temporary storage site, it doesn't sound like, so.
Yeah, I just didn't know if they were gonna go back behind there by the school at that dump place.
No.
No, none of us want that.
No.
No, please.
Yeah, yeah, was
Yeah.
it, web.
And that's a question, if I may. How do you get, to be able to talk about them cleaning that up? Where do I go to
You
begin
would come
that?
to our office first. We'll try to help guide you in the right direction.
And where's-
Our office is 321 North Madison Avenue, it's Madison County Planning and Development Office.
Okay, well, I will do that.
All right.
Cause that's all I wanted to know.
Looking forward to it.
All right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank
Is anybody else?
Are you putting in the tree buffer yourself?
I'm sorry.
Your tree buffer? Are you
Yes,
putting
sir,
that in?
that'll be part of the overall, site development.
Yeah, that'll be on the site development plan, that's part of
But
that.
the,
Right, but I understand the
the
question.
one side on Earl Quillen, his property, it already has a
Oh,
buffer.
yeah, it's got all those trees there. Yeah, it's got all the tree lines.
It's got the tree line, and then Edna Williams, it says Luke's, but it's Edna Williams is in the very back, and it's got trees there, and I would not bother any of those trees back there either. And then the side between me and my neighbor, I suppose I would, if I have to put a buffer up, I would do that, yes, sir. And to answer her question, I appreciate what you're saying, but I legally can't dump anything, any type of construction debris. Concrete, that's one thing, you can dump concrete, and there's a big valley there, which possibly I might
Yeah, fill it in.
fill in some concrete there, but that's
I
only
understand that.
the,
But that is, blue, they told me it had a blue water stream. I owned that back before the police.
yeah. But
They told me
I
I
know I
couldn't.
gotta stay up creek, and,
Yeah.
but I don't foresee doing anything in that little area right there. Anything I'll have will be in the back, and all it'll be is a garage and a trucks parked, but I won't dump anything. I can't legally, and I won't do it. I appreciate it.
No, I live 3916 over there. I don't have no problem with it. I just wanted to see what was going on.
So,
There's a gas line comes through.
Yes, sir.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments? Audience, board members?
When I went out, it looks as though that area that you had the proposed swell, and that's all forested now, right? Isn't that all trees in that area there?
The swell, well, there is a big valley there.
Right.
Yeah, according to, Scott Webb, Jay Webb, I can't do a lot with that. So I'm gonna be in behind that, is where he's got the proposed, I don't know if it is the proposed lot, the building and all on there?
Right.
That's what you're talking about.
Okay, there it is, yeah. Yeah, it's fairly well behind that, and he said I would have to put a water containment ditch there with a retention pond and all that, so
That'd be part of the site development plan.
Right.
it'll be part of the site development plan, but, you all be the least of my worries if I get that, if I covered up that stream, because the state would be all,
Right.
they'd be eating me alive, so I'm not gonna get in that.
So,
But back behind that, I don't know if you walked around on it, but it's not what I'd say level, but it does have kind of a level
Mhm.
spot to it.
So where will you be storing the containers? Behind or in front of the proposed garage and
Well,
storage building?
it'll probably be kind of behind it, that'll be part of the site development plan, where
Right.
I think we're gonna try to have an acre lot, gravelled lot, and that would be where where the containers and the trucks would be parked at.
In close proximity to the buildings.
It will be, yeah, he had it drawn up, I thought it was on here, but I don't see it. But it was a acre lot right there by the buildings, yes, sir.
Mhm.
Yeah, 1.4 acre tract.
It's a 1.4 acre more or less.
Danny, are you aware there's a gas line back there? A big
Yes, sir.
line?
Yes, sir, we actually have it on the plan, so.
Yeah.
We noted it.
I stopped talking to Toby Honaker, and he said it was like a 6-inch or something,
What?
6-inch or something like that.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
They've been working on it, I don't know how big it is.
Yeah, they told me.
We bought that property, that,
all right, just to
never mind.
reiterate, what our board's looking at is the use of the property and stuff like that.
Any conditions?
And any conditions as far as hours and signage and that kind of stuff. You're not having any public no public and stuff, and you've probably got, what, 3 or 4 employees?
Well, I don't have any employees, it's my sons, and
Okay.
we work together right now.
Okay,
We
just a
don't have-
family operated business, so, okay.
Yes.
All right. Is there any other questions, comments from anyone?
I'll make one.
Come,
That he need,
come to the podium.
okay, I just think that this won't take but a second.
Go ahead, bud.
He just need, when he crosses that line, when he crosses that gate line.
You'll have to state your name and address.
Walter Woolsey, 3916 York.
All right, Mr. Woolsey, do you agree to give truthful and accurate information as it pertains to this
I
case?
do.
All right, go ahead.
I don't have any problems with him putting it over there, but I just know what they told me, that when they cross that line, they want a certain amount of dirt on it if you cross the line.
Right, they're very, very
Right, yeah.
serious about that.
Yeah, I just, that way, just let him know what he, if he does, he.
That'll be
help
all
him
stuff
out
that we'll
because I
address
went through that.
at the DRT meeting, which is
Yeah.
all utility companies.
Yeah, they very, and they wouldn't let me fill that in over there because it's blue stream. That's only 2 things I know about.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
And I got no complaints about it.
All right. Do you have anything else you want to add, Mr. Calmes?
I do not, sir.
All right, anything else, Mr. Hunt?
No, you ain't gonna do
All right,
that.
any of the board members have anything else? If there's nothing else to add, I'll open the floor for a motion. Anybody?
I propose that we grant a conditional use permit for the property located at 3780 Irvin Road. This conditional use permit will have, as far as hours of operation, 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. And just to note that the hours of operation or hours that can be operated in the building structures must be limited to 11 p.m. The property will be used as a transfer station and not a dumping area for any debris. And that the operation will be a 6-day operation, Monday through Saturdays. In addition, any lighting on the property will be shielded in a downward fashion to limit the exposure of light exposure out toward the road or to other neighbors.
All right, good. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Medius,
Yes.
Mr. Pinkowski,
Yes?
Mr. Bowden,
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Dillon.
Yes. You're approved.
You got the first flag.
Thank you, sir. That's the first thing.
Every journey's gotta start somewhere.
It's gotta start somewhere, yeah, but I'm afraid that old Marty here's gonna make my journey hard.
No, we gotta be, we need to just 100 miles. Phone calls. Extract.
Well, I probably ought
You might as well just get the man in there.
We'll meet with Jim.
Yeah, you meet with him, correct.
We'll have to.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Gentlemen, we have any further business?
We do have one for next month already.
Okay.
Or one that is here.
Okay. There's nothing further for tonight, and I'll adjourn the meeting.
Brother.
Marty, I asked about Berea. I read Richmond Green all the time, and I've never seen Berea.
You did good.
Yeah, well,
You did good.
Good motions.
I've never.
yeah, when they do it, they just, or they only do it in Berea Citizens, not the registered. I'll say, I'm sure they do it, they have to have it.
Well, that's what I wondered.
Very thorough.
That's what I was wondering, you know, because I never saw them have that.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what they do.
So I was kinda like,
I've seen their signs up though. Yeah, because where we butt up with them a lot.
well, I see that.
I've seen their signs out.
I didn't think they had one, so I didn't know the city of Berea was like working on buses somewhere. Well, I know that the way it
Right, right.
On that side.
Let me go turn this off, I don't know if we're lit or not.
thing was his.
Yeah, so did I, when I went out there, I walked.